Comedian-in-Chief White House Correspondents' Dinner. I didn't watch, but I'm sure it was very entertaining. What's going on, guys? It is Sunday, April 28th, 2013. Welcome back to another edition of the Jericho Report Weekly News Briefing. Number 50. I can't believe I've done 50 of these reports. Wow. Thank you guys for tuning in. You know, I wasn't sure if I was going to keep at it with these reports, but you guys tell me you like it, so I'll keep doing them. A little less madness this week. Pretty much the only thing going on in mainstream media is the attack on Boston, which it was a tragedy, but man, there's other things going on in the world, you know what I mean? If you're watching the mainstream, that's all you've seen. But I got some links here for you that I'm going to give you. Let's see here. Number of people sent me this, so thank you to everybody who sends me links, either on YouTube or Facebook or wherever. I appreciate it. Navy SEAL admits nukes to be detonated nationwide for martial law agenda. Now, this is no shock to me. First of all, this is coming from before it's news. I'm not sure what their source is, but please take this with a grain of salt. Don't freak out. Anybody who's been following me for a while, I've covered the multiple city nuclear false flag agenda for some time. Jericho, Operation Blackjack, all that. This guy's saying it's going to happen in May, I think it is. I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. Would not surprise me to wake up any morning to that scenario. But an interesting read. To somebody like me, this is a very interesting read, so I'll put a link to this. Let's see, exclusive. FBI informant claims Taliban members living in America. Yeah, no crap, because our borders are so secure. So if something does happen, you know, it's becoming very difficult to figure out what is a false flag and what is a real event. It's going to become more difficult, I'm sure of it, because there are real terrorists in the world. Real terrorists don't scare me, however. You know, Dr. Dissent, I don't know where the hell you went, but you said something one time that really stuck with me over the years. You said life is dangerous. Okay? So, you know, things are going to happen. The only thing I'm worried about is trying to figure out, was it an actual terrorist attack or was it another false flag perpetrated by my own government? So I'll put a link to this. I do believe that there are people living in the United States that probably want to do harm to the United States because, let's face it, we're not exactly the friendliest people around the planet, you know what I mean? We've done everything we could do to bomb and destroy other countries, so is it any surprise that there may be some people living here that are pissed off at us? So, just saying. City of Philadelphia advises residents on what to do if ordered to shelter in place. Philadelphia is advising their residents on what to do if ordered to shelter in place. Again, life is dangerous. You know, all of this cowardly... we are becoming a society of cowardly, government, please save me, I can't defend myself. It just sickens me. Anyway, I'll put a link to this. I'm not going to expand into that anymore. You guys know what I'm saying. Let's see. The suspected second bomber was given his Miranda rights after a delay for public safety exception. He's a United States citizen. There should be no exception, in my opinion. Just my opinion. Apparently he's been given his Miranda rights. I'm sure it's because a lot of people made a stink over that. Because even if he is guilty, you know, we have a system here. We have due process in this country. Okay, no matter what you've done. Once you're captured, you're in custody, you have due process. Okay, if we start removing that, making exceptions to that, then, you know, that's dangerous. Because what if that was you? Let's say you were innocent, but exceptions were made because they thought you were guilty. You know? It's dangerous when we start messing with that. Just my opinion. I got another one here. Boston bombing suspects planned New York City attack. I don't believe anything they're throwing at me, but I'll put a link to this. Article from WND. WND, take it with a grain of salt. But it is interesting. Americans snapping by the millions. Talks about how Americans are becoming frustrated and suicidal, and suicide has surpassed a number of other causes of death. Doesn't surprise me. Take a look at the pharmaceutical. How many people in this country are on pharmaceuticals? Might want to look at that. Anyway, I'll put a link to this interesting read. From E&E News, we got countless Gulf residents with symptoms as if from a sci-fi horror film. Bleeding from the ears and yada yada. Man, horrible. I'll put a link to it. Scary new H7N9 bird flu strain leaps from China to Taiwan. Human transmission already achieved. I'll put a link to this from Natural News. Bird flus don't scare me. Swine flus don't scare me. Like I said, life on this planet is dangerous. Things are going to happen. In other news, we got court again. Nixes Viacom $1 billion lawsuit against YouTube. Right on. For those of you who know what that means, that's a win for YouTube. No matter what you think about YouTube, well, I'm not going to get into the my copyright spiel and how some people feel that they're being censored sometimes when things are taken down for copyright. Look, if YouTube didn't do that, we wouldn't have YouTube, because it would be constantly being sued by all of these. They wouldn't be able to exist. So anyway, court decides with YouTube on the Viacom deal. Right on. Over to financial news. Lawmakers and aides may get Obamacare exemption? What? Whoa. Lawmakers and aides may get Obamacare exemption. No. You're going to push that tyranny on me. You're going to live with it as well. Put a link to this. And from the Wall Street Journal, internet sales tax rush. The internet sales tax is becoming more and more... it's going to suck. If you're somebody who does commerce online, you know what that means. Let's see here. What else we got? Over to New World Order and Police State News. The agenda becomes clear. Check this out from CBS Boston. Surveillance drones being considered for 2014 Boston Marathon. Of course, put some drones in the skies. That'll fix the problem. We need more we need more surveillance. Drones. Yeah, the agenda becomes clear. Put a link to it. If it wasn't the agenda in the beginning, then it surely is awfully convenient, don't you think? Some local news. St. Louis County officials say low-flying helicopters were for Army training. Blackhawk helicopters buzzing St. Louis City and St. Louis County. In the middle of the night, residents are alarmed. If people like myself, us crazy conspiracy people, are so crazy, then why do we keep seeing the U.S. military training in metropolitan areas? One more instance. Yeah. In my opinion, they are not training for overseas operations. They are training to take Americans to FEMA camps. Google Rex 84. Have a read at that. And performing a psychological operation on the American people. Watch the video clip that accompanies this link. People are terrified. Blackhawks flying around. Psychological operation is what it is. Don't be terrified. Stand up and speak out. Anyway, moving on. New York, NYPD says subway test involving release of harmless gas set for summer. I know Sam F. did a video on this. They're going to be releasing supposedly harmless gas into the subway system to check and see how efficiently they can perform XYZ in case of a terrorist attack. Whatever. Got some good news, though, in the police state New World Order bin. Reps challenge DHS ammo buys, say agency using 1,000 more rounds per person than Army. Yeah, this is from FoxNews.com. You know why FoxNews.com is forced to cover this? And you know why the reps are forced to challenge it? Because we have made such a stink about it. Good job, YouTube community. Awesome work. We forced them to cover what we talk about. Remember that. Senate won't vote on CISPA. More good news, although if you think CISPA or internet control is dead, you're kidding yourself. Put a link to this, though. Good news for now. From the Los Angeles Times. This is an awesome story. You guys remember when they were looking for Christopher Dorner out in LA, they shot up a truck that was just two ladies delivering newspapers? Well, woman shot by LAPD during Dorner manhunt get hefty payout. $4.2 million. Good for you. Right on. Awesome story. I'll put a link to that. They shot up these two people just delivering papers. Had nothing to do with anything. Just because their truck supposedly looked like his. LA got to come up off some cash. Let's see. U.S. intelligence, over to World War III news now. U.S. intelligence points to small-scale use of sarin. I guess they're trying to say Syria used chemical weapons. I'll put a link to it. For all other World War III news, I'm going to refer you over to F-Town site, Endgame, beginning of WW3, updated Mideast, and World War III world news, yada yada. Over to Earth changes in 2012 news. We had a 5.9 magnitude quake struck Mexico City. I'm sorry, quake causes buildings to sway in Mexico City. I'm not sure if that was the epicenter, but I'll put a link to this from the AP. Got one more in the Earth Changes bin. 2 Earth-like blue planets discovered orbiting distant star. Planet X? I don't know. Always interesting news. I'll put a link to that. Let's see here. Over to strange and bizarre news. CNN. Ex-CNN reporter. I received orders to manipulate news on Syria and Iran. No way. This has got to go in the strange and bizarre bin. An ex-CNN reporter saying she was given orders to manipulate the news? Pfft, that could never happen. Put a link to this from Disclosed TV. Very interesting. LAX electronic monitor accidentally posts emergency message. Don't be alarmed. Evacuate the terminal. Wait, no, that was a mistake. Accidentally on purpose. Put a link to this. Interesting stuff going on. Let's see. I'm not sure what this company is. Williams Sonoma? I guess, I don't know. Is that a store? Pulls pressure cookers off shelves. Ban pressure cookers. They're killing people. Man. Interesting. Scroll down and read the comments on that article. Very strange and bizarre here. California witness reports waking to 15 entities in bedroom. Can you imagine waking up? Little green men all around you. You thinking like ENDGAME? E.T. phone home. Interesting article from the Examiner. And man rejected from Saudi festival, deported for being too handsome. Deported for being too handsome. Now that's completely ridiculous. Whatever. Put a link to it. Much more news. I have been favoriting so many videos. Check my favorites. I'll put a link to my favorites. Thank you to everybody who puts out content. Awesome work all around. Couple shout outs this week. James Yeager in the news again. Yeager won't give up. Fight for gun permit. Those of you who know James Yeager from Tactical Response here on YouTube, I'll put a link to this story. Check out the media clip. A judge ordered that I guess he was not a threat and he could have his firearms and whatever. And then the Tennessee Department of Homeland Security comes in and says, well, no, they want his gun permit revoked. You know, those of us who make YouTube videos, we don't always say the right things all the time, although increasingly we need to watch what we're saying because we know they're watching every video. And, you know, I've said some things in the distant past that I didn't, you know, when you're making a video, sometimes you get hot. You know, I'll just say this. James Yeager, I saw his video. I saw the video they're referring to. I didn't take that as a threat to the public. I knew what he was talking about. He was talking about tyrannical government, in my opinion, when he made his comment that he made. I have no fear that he's going to go out and shoot up a place somewhere. It doesn't even, no, not at all. I'll put a link to the story. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel. Shout out to James Yeager. Sucks that you're getting screwed around like this, but you know. And one more shout out. Shout out to F-Town's website, ENDGAME, beginning of WMA3. The t-shirts, as you can see, are made ENDGAME wear. If you would like one of these t-shirts, they got the American flag on the side. They got the ENDGAME emblem. They got the YouTube channel. Here, I got another one here. YouTube channels on the back. These are awesome t-shirts. And got the Show Me Baby, myself, monographed, Secret Truth 2012, Sam, Resistance for Liberty, and web design by madworld.net. I am honored, and a big thank you to F-Town for including me in this. It didn't hit me until I got the shirt, and I pulled it out of the box, and I'm like, man, my name is on this. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I am very grateful for having my name. Being a part of something is the best feeling in the world, and I love all you guys, and it's an honor to be a part of all this. So I'll put a link to this to F-Town's website if you want one of these t-shirts. They are now available. There's 2 different designs. You can pull up the page and check them out. And thank you, a big thank you to everybody. It's good stuff all around. Anyway, that's all I got for this week, guys. If you like the report, please rate it, give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down. If you think it sucks, it's the worst of YouTube, never want to see it again. Please rate it, though. It helps it move around YouTube. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, for breaking news and live show alerts and stuff like that. Those links are, of course, below. That's all I got. A little bit less madness this week, but madness nonetheless. Who knows what the next week will bring? We're coming into May of 2013. Another shout out to the St. Louis Blues for making the playoffs. I'm going to be growing a playoff beard. That's going to look pretty wild. My team is in the playoffs. So anyway, you guys take care. Stay safe. I will see you on the next one.